Customers always right, right? So I work as a minimum wage cashier at a discount store. I see a lot of people in a day, especially people who know how to do my job better than me, due to their lack of experience and profound understanding that my job is the easiest in the world. Now I always shut that hit down, in the classic corporate happy public service employee way. Well, actually it makes it a little easier this way, but thank you so much for helping. Like I'm talking a toddler down from an upcoming tantrum, but I don't leave room for urging. It's almost like I'm playing a character, honestly. It works form, but I never just let someone do something stupid, like letting them walk out with a bag too heavy, without double bagging it, or letting them leave putting their receipt in their bag if it looks like they might want to return it. But not today, it's Saturday, so it's busy. All day as I would finally get a minute to get my other work done, someone would come up taking forever to consider the impulse buys while I'm stuck waiting for them at the register getting nothing done. This woman did that, but twice. She got up there, pondered for a minute, got a line behind her, decided to go look at something else. I'm stuck with this line till just before she gets back and ponders again before finally getting to me. She's your average-looking middle-aged soccer mom. But already she's getting on my nerves. But hey, it's Saturday, every customer gets on my nerves, so whatever. She's got a lot of larger but lightweight items with some smaller items like bags of candy and socks. So I'm getting half of it in one large bag, half of it in another large bag. So I go to get the second bag, handing her the first one when she goes, "No, I don't want a lot of bags, you can fit the rest in there, it's fine. You should ask before getting more bags, it's your job to do things how the customers want and asking. Otherwise you should just know to do one bag if you can. It's wasteful, I only want one bag." And I thought to myself, wow, it sounds like she's never done retail a day in her life, she must know what she's doing. Now it's also worth noting she did have a few heavier items, not many but a few. They were glass jars of sauces with lots of pigment and staining properties. It's also worth mentioning she was getting some chips that came in bags with pointy sharper edges that eat bags for breakfast. The bag it's too heavy and they press into the sides at any angle and that bag's toast. It's also worth mentioning she was getting several white clothes made of very stainable material. Nice clothes, she said they were for an important party she had to go to that night. Bragging. Normally I would double bag, which would keep the sharp corners in check. But she wad right. She only wanted one bag, so that must be all she needs. So idget the glass jars in with the clothes, nested in. They're nicely spaced out where they wouldn't hide each other with clothes between them, and the bags and top spread around the top so it was easier to lift the bag. Just like she wanted. That AMN bag was already looking like it would bust wide open any second when she took it from the counter. Luckily a line hadn't formed behind Harriet. Just someone looking the impulse buys over. I couldn't really step away, but nothing to do but watch where I had a clear view of the parking lot. I watched as she struggled out the two front doors, no automatic. Got 1/4 of the way to her car when the bag bust. Glass and sauce everywhere, sad shahad like $15 worth, about 5 jars. She struggled to force them back into the bag, hoping she could at least pile them in her arms with the bag holding it together, trying not to cut herself on the glass she had wrapped up. It broke some more. She tried to salvage it and balance it back up. Failed, gave up, grabbed as much of an armful as he could, had to take like 5 trips, her blouse and pants, ruined. Huh. Maybe after over a year and cashiering nearly every day, I know what I'm doing. Shocker. How not to get new clients, lose existing clients and get 2 weeks paid time off. Some 10 years ago I was switching jobs, after over 7 years at my previous one. I decided I was done with printers and stuff and wanted something new, and I found this company that was supplying CCTV, security and fire alarms. The company had branches in few bigger cities in my country. The pay was worse than my previous job, but I figured it's not that bad and I really wanted to switch jobs. Contracted for 3 months of a trial period. It's common practice in my country. It's a type of short-term job employment contract, usually 1 to 3 months, that legally has the same terms as a regular job contract, with often some limits on company benefits like private Medicare or gym pass or whatever, after which we'll decide if I'm staying or not. My boss was the regional manager, had a coworker who had been hired earlier. Our branch was open for a few months at this point. Now it's important to note that the company only dealt in B2B, no retail. We didn't even have a FISCAL printer. That is mandatory if you want to do retail sales. So our clients were all companies, big and small, that, per company policy, specialized in electrical equipment installation. In my country, all businesses are registered in a central database, and the type of stuff done is one of the required stuff from a vast catalog of what can be done commercially. This is tied to the pricing levels. You run an electric company, you get better prices than a flour company. You get the idea. The company had a CRM, customer relationship management, software in which we were required to note every interaction with our clients. When I asked our ERM about how it should be kept, a conversation followed. Greater than me. So I need to note only sales or some other stuff as well. Greater than everything, each call, each visit, each Celine. Do you need to schedule the client's next visit or call? You're to contact each of your clients at least once a week to keep up relations and note everything in the CRM. It's connected to the phone billing so we know when you've made the calls or not. Greater than me. So I'm supposed to call each client at least once a week for a chat. Greater than yes, and make notes in CRM. Greater than me. You realize calling that often will annoy most clients. Greater than this is the company's policy. We want our clients to be cared about and it's your job to do it. I think everyone knows this is not how you build a positive relations with your potential clients. We're all sick and tired of banks or phone companies calling with another great offer, but fine, it's not my place to argue with company policy. I split with my coworker the clients we HAD registered, found few more potential contacts on the internet, and for the next few weeks I'd call each of my clients, first to introduce myself, ask their new sales guy, and asked if I can contact them once in a while to check up on things. Note how often I'd check up on things. After few weekly calls, some clients stopped answering, others blocked me. I noticed I get straight to voicemail. That's pretty obvious. And some got annoyed with the pestering and voiced that with all manner of euphemisms. My fav was, I kindly ask you to take Upa journey to the land of null sensations, or straight up insults about wasting their time, and if they want something from me, they'll get back to me. I obviously noted every call in the CRM, as explicitly instructed, but just in case someone actually read it, I refrained from citing insults and just went with, client angry about too frequent contacts, next contact on YYYY. That was always in 1 week time. All this didn't won me any favors with the client base with one exception, but it hardly made a difference. Because we managed to antagonize most of our current and potential clients, we obviously didn't get much sales done, so we weren't allowed to keep much wares on our local stock. This meant that if someone would actually stumble into our store, the shelves would be mostly empty, to the point that putting together a small CCTV setup would be impossible because we'd have like one DVR, 2 cameras of the same type, and 1 hard drive, 4th DVR. By that point we'd get recipe twice a week, so if client ordered something on Thursday, the order would arrive on next Tuesday afternoon at the earliest. This was often unacceptable, so clients would scrap the order. We did some business from time to time, but I'm pretty sure our branch was not making enough even to sustain itself, not to mention making a profit for the company. After about 7 to 8 weeks I was dialing one of my clients again to check up if he doesn't need anything. Let's call him Red. I was about to hang up with no answer when he did pick it up. Greater than me. Hi, this is Ed from Company X, can I take a moment? At this point he furiously interrupted me yelling, Greater than Red, are you ucking serious? I nearly fell of the ladder thinking it's something important, and I tease you again? Didn't I ucking told you not to both them again? Are you ucking stupid? This rant went on for a while. Guy was really creative when it comes to various combination of insults, something that I think is impossible in English language. When he finally made a long enough pause for me to chime in, I went with my, at this point, usual explanation. Greater than me. I'm sorry you find these calls disturbing, but it's our company's policy to keep a close contact with our best clients. Red never actually bought anything. Greater than Red. I don't give a UCK about your company's policy. Get your supervisor. Greater than me. Yes sir. I happily gave him my boss's rank, name and phone number. He paused for a moment, I'm guessing to note the info I've given him, and then he hung up without a word. I dutifully noted the conversation in the CRM, noting that, client angry, requested contact to supervisor, complied. After about half an hour my called me. Greater than did you call Red today? Greater than me. I did, like I do on a weekly basis per instructions. Greater than okay, don't call him again. I'm sure Red gave him a piece of his mind about the company policy. Next week the one guy that didn't mind my calls strolls into the store and from the door asks, I hear you're closing up shop? I look at my coworker with surprised expression, she mirrors it. We asked him where he heard about it and he answered vaguely, that's the word around town. We told him that we don't know anything about it. He ordered some basic stuff we as usual didn't have on hand and left. When I put out the order to in the next shipment I got call from the HQ warehouse. Greater than HQ. Hi, you did order X and Y. Greater than me. I did, is there a problem? Greater than HQ. Yeah, kinda. All your deliveries are on hold and we can't ship anything to you. I put the 2 and 2 together, thank for the info, hung up and shared the revelation with my coworker. She contacted the to ask about it. Onda claimed it must be some kind of mistake and not a worry. The same week on Friday the arrived at 9 o'clock. We opened the store at 8 o'clock and went straight to the point. Greater than here are the papers to relieve you from work as of Monday. Today we pack all of the stock and equipment. At 1400 there will be a truck to pick everything up and the store is done. Work relief is a document that basically tells you that you're still employed as per contract, keeping the pay and social security, but you don't have to actually work, and it doesn't deplete your annual batch of vacation days. We get 20 to 26 of paid vacation per year. It's used usually Employee needs to be terminated with notice period, but you don't want to keep him around for the remaining time. In my case, I was 2 weeks until my trial period was to end, so I got the remainder of that time off with pay and the contract would just end. My coworker had 2 weeks notice period per her contract. I listed the brief time spent at this company as branch closing specialist on my LinkedIn. I think it's more accurate than the technical and sales specialist I actually had on my contract. The company is still there, but scaled back on IT's branches, and as far as I know, they loosened up their policy a bit. I went on to switch industries once more, cable TV, but got back to CCTV and stuff for the next company, where I've spent 4 years, where I had a lot of regular clients and didn't call any of them once without a specific reason. Edit. Yes, I know, I made a typo in the title. No, I can't edit it.